Now we're going to talk about writing our own functions. So we've actually already used a lot of functions, and we've been using the functions that are built into the MATLAB libraries to build expressions in our labs and in the in-class activities. Now we're going to learn to actually write our own functions. So if you remember back when we first learned about functions and function calls, we talked about the format of a function call. That the function call is always the name of the function followed by parentheses that contain the arguments to the function call. The arguments are the things that we send into a function, and we get a return value or return values back. Okay. And we talked about how when we use MATLAB functions, we don't really know what goes on inside of them. All that we know is what output to expect given an input, right? We can look at the help, see what a function does, but we don't really know the particulars of how the inside of the function works. This allows us to have sort of a part of our program that just kind of goes off and does one task, and then all we get back is the answer. It's going to work really similarly when we write our own functions. So the functions that we write will also have to be called from MATLAB. We'll also pass in arguments and get return values back. It's just now that we're writing our own functions, we're going to specify how all of that happens. So we'll see that all of these components will show up in how we write our functions. We'll have to specify what arguments we expect and what order they should be passed in. We'll have to specify the name of the function so that we know how to call it, and we'll also specify what our function returns. We'll also see how we can provide the information that would show up in a help if someone were to try to access the help for our function.